We're here at the 100th anniversary celebration for the famous DH-60 Moth, which first flew in 1925. But in 1923, another aircraft had flown, the DH-53 Hummingbird, of which there is an incredible example behind me. And here with me is Terry Pankhurst, who's been responsible for the restoration of this incredible aircraft. So good to meet you, Terry.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about this particular aircraft and the design that went behind it.
Well, this particular aircraft has a bit of a checkered history. It came about because of the Lympne trials. The trials were an idea that everybody was going to have a small aircraft in their back garden and take off from their local field outside. The competition was for lightness, small engine, durability, and all sorts of different things. One relevance was it had to be able to be towed between the posts of a 5-bar gate.
Yeah.
This never met that requirement because the elevators were a little bit too big.
Oh no!
So it was actually disqualified from winning because of that. Though it was disqualified, never won any trophies at the Lympne trials. It was the one aircraft that had moderate sales success. If you consider 15 or 16 a success.
Yeah.
This aircraft was bought along with another by the Army for airship trials. It was built with an airship rig on the top, and it would attach and detach from the R-33 airship in flight.
So it would actually fly off from an airship.
Yeah.
And then fly around and then connect back onto it.
Connect back on again. And I can show you later, if you like, the way the airship hook operated. It was reasonably successful. I've rebuilt the Mark I airship hook. It was subsequently modified to a Mark II because they had an accident with the Mark I. The Mark I airship hook didn't guard the propeller well enough, and they hit the propeller on the crossbar that it's supposed to hook onto and broke the propeller. Normally if that happens, it usually tears the engine out of the machine, but it didn't in this instance, and Haig, who was the pilot, landed it safely. So
that despite that, he didn't die. He didn't die.
No.
Wow.
And the propeller, the broken propeller, is in Havilland Museum. It was moderately successful. It could release from the airship and detach, but it was never going to be a success. I think the scheme was, with an airship, you could hang a fighter underneath. Mm-hmm. The fighter could be released from the airship to defend the airship against enemy action, and once it had seen off the enemy, could reattach to the airship. It never got as far as fighters. Mm-hmm. It only got as far as an experiment, which you could say was marginally successful. It then went on, was sold to various other organisations, and eventually it crashed, unfortunately killed the pilot in the 1930s. Mm-hmm. The wreckage was bought, and the wings were pretty much intact, and somebody bought it and put a new fuselage on it, which he called the Martin monoplane. Now the Martin monoplane flew for a while, and then that became derelict, as old aircraft do, and the remains of the Martin monoplane were found in a shed in Staffordshire. They were pretty much intact, but vandals got in and destroyed it, and the man then, who wouldn't sell it before, then said, well, I might as well sell the wreckage now. And a man named Mike Russell bought it. Mike Russell was a captain for Britannia Airways, and he was starting a national glider collection as well, and he bought the wreckage, and from the wreckage he salvaged the DH-53 wings.
Right.
And he took them to Aswick Manor, and we refurbished the wings as a training exercise. But when you've got apprentices who can't do anything particularly, it comes down to the instructor doing 99% of the work.
And who was the instructor?
Me.
Ah, right, okay.
So the wings were complete, and then Mike Russell naturally approached the company and said, you wouldn't like to build a new fuselage, would you? And surprisingly enough, the company said, yes, we will.
So de Havilland built a new fuselage
I built the new fuselage as well. Now we had a new manager and director coming, and Charles Macefield. He was known to be fairly dynamic and go ahead, and he was. But the management at the time thought, what's he going to say, seeing an aircraft that doesn't belong to the company on company premises, get rid of it this weekend.
Right.
So we had to get rid of it, and it went back to Mike Russell's house in Essex. It laid dormant there for many years. He moved to North Norfolk and took the aircraft with him, and then he died sadly. So I approached his daughter and said, what are you doing with the half-complete aeroplane? And she said, well, nothing. You can have it on one condition. And the condition was that I put on the side of the aircraft in memory of Mike Russell. But having got an aircraft, then I thought, what the devil do I do with it? Because aircraft are notoriously expensive to rebuild. So it laid in Mosquito Museum for some years, and when I reached about 79, I thought, if I don't get this flying soon, then it's never going to fly at all.
Right.
So I bit the bullet, found the money, and we're now to flying condition. It's not flown. It's test run the engine. The paperwork is all complete. The only thing I haven't got now is the little bit of paper that says I have permission to test. Otherwise, it's a complete ready to fly aircraft.
So it's a 1924 aircraft. It's gone through all of those machinations, and now with your work and people working with you, in memory of Mike Russell, it's ready to fly again.
Exactly.
As it would 100 years ago.
Yep. Yep.
That's amazing. I remember we did a video with you a while ago of one of the first test runs of the engine. Once you've got your permit, the light aircraft permit, are you going to fly it?
I can't fly. I can't fly.
So have you got a volunteer?
Not yet. No, not yet.
So if anybody listening to the video,
it's got to be a very special pilot. It's a very light aeroplane. It's only 700 pounds with a pilot. It will take somebody with a lot of experience and know-how to fly this carefully, and also when conditions allow.
Right.
It's too windy today. Wouldn't fly it today anyway.
Right.
You want literally a no-wind day.
Right.
There's lots of pilots who say, I'd love to have a go at that. The reason for that is because it's a unique registration.
Right.
It's EBQP, and it's the last aircraft in the world with a Q in its registration.
Okay.
To have that in your flying logbook is quite unique, and there's nobody living with that in their flying logbook.
Wow.
At this moment. So lots of people would like to fly it, but it's got to be a pilot with experience with light aircraft, and it's got to be the right conditions to fly it.
Okay.
Everybody says, let me know when it's going to fly. It'll be one of those things that it'll just come together on one occasion, the weather's right, the pilot's there, and it'll happen. Okay. No knowledge in advance generally.
So, I mean, it's a little bit windy today, and I guess probably too windy.
It's too windy today.
Even if you wanted to fly it today.
Yeah. It's not too bad, but I wouldn't like to fly it even with the wind we've got today.
Right, okay. Very delicate aeroplane. It's many years involvement with this plane right from the very beginning.
I've known it now for 40 years.
Wow.
It's actually more than that if I count it right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more than that.
That is absolutely amazing. And a unique aircraft. It's probably the only one ever to have gone off an airship and back on again.
Well, it's the only one surviving. Its companion, because the army bought two of them, its companion also attached to the airship, but this is the only surviving one. Right.
So just like we did a video of the DH-51, which was a precursor to the Moth, having seen the 53, then de Havilland went back to the drawing board, and what came up later was the famous DH-60.
The story goes that Alan Cobham, I don't know how true it is, but the story goes that Alan Cobham flew this.
Right.
Notoriously, he was flying in Holland and was overtaken by a train. It just almost flew backwards in a strong wind. And he come back to the Havilland and said, yeah, a great little airplane, but if you did this, this and this, and out of that came the DH-60 Moth.
DH-60 Moth. Brilliant story. Terry, it's a pleasure chatting with you. It really is. And we're looking forward to one of these days hearing it's flown. And we're also looking forward today and tomorrow to wandering around and looking at the legacy that came from this plane, the famous DH-60 Moth and all the other de Havilland aircraft that came from it. Terry, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Real
Thank you. This is the airship hook that will fit on top of the aircraft. It's already got its fittings to take this assembly, and the rear of the airship hook bolts onto the rear there, so you've got the rear frame there. If I go round to the front, it's always a long walk round aeroplanes just to walk a couple of yards. The hook there takes the forward strut, and that bracket there takes the rest for the hook over the top.
So the fuselage would be here?
The cockpit is in the middle,
right,
and the propeller's at the front. The propeller actually runs there.
Okay, so that's your propeller guard.
That's protecting the propeller.
Okay.
But it has another purpose as well. So the airship had a trapeze bar that hung down some 50 feet below the airship, and it was to hook on the airship, and then once it hooked onto the trapeze bar was pulled up, aircraft as well.
Which meant the pilot could get out.
Yes.
Hopefully.
And what the pilot tried to do with the trapeze bar, which was about 20 foot wide, it wasn't a small thing, was to get the trapeze bar hanging across there, to come up there, go down there and snap into that lock. It snaps automatically and locks into there, and then the weight of the aircraft is carried on that surface, and the whole weight of the aircraft is carried on that bolt. And
you're now hooked onto an airship.
But that's not very safe. So what you did, you pulled that forward and locked that into there. It's not in the right place because it's only mocked up.
So that
locks in. Now that's physically locked. You can't fall out of the airship accidentally. When you want to leave the airship, you can't start the engine. You have to prime it and everything and release it, and the airflow will turn the propeller, and if you're lucky it will start the engine.
Because you can't swing it.
You can't swing it.
No one to swing it.
So when you want to release the airship, you let go of the brake, pull it back there, and it's physically open, and it falls away from the airship.
So you fall down and you can fly off.
Yeah.
It's ingenious.
That's its neutral position, automatic catch. But it was difficult to get out of the aircraft. You had to, you're sitting there facing forward, you had to hump yourself backside onto the coaming behind, and then you climbed up there into the airship. I like to think that they may have had a safety harness, but 1924,
maybe not.
Who knows? Who knows?
So this was
this is reproduced from the pictures, and the pictures of this are in the National Archive.
So you've been able to completely rebuild it, just like you did with the thing. So although you can't fly with it, you can actually
when it's a static model, this can be bolted onto the top of the aircraft and show it in its full glory.
Parasite fighter, 1920s. Thank you very much, Terry.